All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Invocation, Alderman Ashby, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this evening. We thank you for this day, Lord. We just ask that we would glorify you as we're here in our meeting tonight, Lord, and that we would do the right things for the right people in this city of Crowley, Lord, and for the state of Louisiana. We love you. We ask all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of Allegiance, Alderman Lachele, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chuck Ashby. Here. Katie Chasson. Here. Brad Core.
Here.
Jeff Dorey. Here. Dickie Lachele. Here. Vernon Martin. Here. Sandy Marks. Here. Samuel Reggie. Here. Byron Woolridge. Here.
Thank you, ma'am. We will recess the council meeting and open public hearing for the purpose of proposed ordinance 1547, an ordinance to amend and reenact provisions of Chapter 1, Section 1 through 8, General Penalty of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Crowley to update applicable fines and penalties for violations and to make other amendments in keeping with current state law, to repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances contrary thereto or in conflict therewith, to provide for the provisions hereof to be severable, and to provide for all matters relative thereto.
So we'll open the public hearing. We need any proponents of the ordinance? Anyone want to speak on behalf of the ordinance? First call. Second call for proponents. Third call for proponents. We'll turn to the opponents of the ordinance. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to the ordinance? First call. Second call for opponents. Third call for opponents. No one having spoken in opposition, we can recess the public hearing for the adoption of that ordinance.
Okay, we'll move to proposed ordinance number 1548, an ordinance to amend and reenact provisions of Chapter 7 Criminal Code of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Crowley to update applicable fines and penalties for violations and to make other amendments in keeping with current state law, to repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances contrary thereto or in conflict therewith, to provide for the provisions hereof to be severable, and to provide for all matters relative thereto.
Anyone speaking in as a proponent of ordinance number 1548? First call. Second call for proponents. Third call for proponents. All right, there being no proponents, we'll turn to the opposition. Anyone speaking or wishing to speak in opposition to the ordinance? First call. Second call for opponents. Third call for opponents. There being no opposition, we'll recess that public hearing for the adoption of Article 1548.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And we will close the public hearing and reconvene the City Council meeting for February 18th. Appearances. Jake, you ready? We have Jake Benoit here with us this evening. Jake is a representative of Senator John Kennedy's office.
Thank you for welcoming me. My name is Jake Benoit. I'm with Senator John Kennedy's office. I'm taking over for Sarah, if y'all knew her. Our office is in Lafayette, and I'll be covering for the whole Acadiana region. I previously was in our New Orleans office for coming up on 2 years. Just moved back home. This is where I grew up, and I have much more deep roots here. So if there's anything we can do for y'all, constituent services, any federal agencies such as IRS, Social Security, passports, stuff like that, or if we any grant support letters that we can write as well, please give me a call. My cell is on the bottom, and my email as well. So if I could, I believe I met most of y'all, but if I could just pass over.
Mr. Martin, put your mic on, please.
Well, I just had another, and I can't get too much ahead. But for a minute, I didn't think you knew that we were councilmen who passed right by you. You gave everybody else a card, but I appreciate you recouping on it. And by the way, your boss, John Kennedy, you said Kennedy's your boss, right? Tell him Step Martin said hello. Just for records, Kennedy is the reason why we got these houses over here in Crowley. We served, he was on the Louisiana Housing Association when he was the treasurer. Him and I are real good friends. Tell him Robert Rowan and Step Martin said hello. He the one that framed about being called with one name.
I do want to clarify as well, I just was trying to make an escape because he said the meeting was starting. I didn't want to interrupt anything.
No, I mean, we walk right by you, buddy, but that's fine, though. Thank you, man.
All right, let's see, approval of minutes from any agenda amendments? Yes, sir.
So if I need to, I got some questions here for this council and also for the mayor from my constituents, me and Byron as well. Do we propose the questions all at once, or I asked the question, which committee it should be handled under? Should I set forth the questions now, or how you want to do this? Because these are questions that, from talking to our constituents, a few of them being here tonight, but a lot of them, believe you me, that they're watching. And they entrusted these questions to be asked by myself and Byron. Should I ask the questions now, and however you want to do it? It's your meeting.
You're welcome to ask the questions now, Mr. Martin, and then
Okay.
we can move along through the agenda as we need to.
Okay.
I'm happy to hear the questions now.
Sounds good. The first question.
Are we formally placing those items on the agenda for discussion?
Well, that's my motion. I mean,
Okay,
we,
great.
the question was asked, any amendment agenda? Well, this is amendment,
Right.
so it's official.
Right, we just need to vote on the amendment of the agenda.
Well, wait, hold on.
So what, yeah,
Well, that's what we're doing. I made the motion to amend the agenda.
yeah, but we
There
need
hasn't
to
been
know what it's for.
I just told you, these are questions from our constituents, okay?
And Mr. Martin, look, you can give me the questions. Normally, that's what the committee meetings are for,
Well,
is to
with
bring
that
those up
being
in
said-
committee meetings.
With that being said, okay, we just have.
But I'll be happy to meet with you and look at the
No.
questions, and then we can,
These needs to be asked in open meetings, so if
Okay.
you want to allow me to do it, I'll do it on Channel 10, Channel 3, and Channel 15.
I don't think anyone's suggesting that you can't do it. I was
Well,
just,
apparently, it is. You're telling me, you
No.
come many times that we amended the agenda? You understand?
yes,
Brian?
but
Yes, sir.
amending the agenda requires
A motion, a second, and a
motion
vote.
and a second, and a
Okay,
vote
well, I
of
just-
everyone to amend the agenda, and we need to know what part of the agenda we're amending.
And I just said, the questions, I asked this council, as the question, do you want the questions first? And they would be handled in the different committees. That's what I asked, okay? Did you not understand that? If not, let me repeat it. I have questions here, okay? And one of them happened to be the last minute thing that you just done, okay? But that's fine. We have questions here that apparently people watching never could be answered in this council. So I told them our job is to make sure that we relate any and everything that you have to this council. So once again, I asked the question. You just asked if there are any agenda amendments. This is one of them, to either bring forth the questions now or bring forth the questions in different committees.
Okay.
And the only way we're gonna do that, we have to figure out which committee would be handling this.
How about we do, Community and Economic Development
Well,
Committee
one of them is Community and Economic Development.
as discussion items in Community and Economic Development, Committee?
Like I said, either be questioned here or on the news meetings. Take your pick.
So,
So,
so you're making a motion to amend the agenda to place those questions as discussion items under the Community and Economic Development Committee?
Not all of them are Community and Economic Development.
I second that, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Either, like I said, one way or the other, these questions will be asked and
And no one's trying to deny you the right
No.
to ask the questions. I'm just I just want to do it properly so that they're properly before the council so that they could be addressed.
as the attorney, the legal.
Put your mic on, please.
The question was asked, are there any agenda amendments? Well, this is one, okay? Why am I catching so much hell trying to get it approved? I asked the question.
You're not.
Do you want the questioners now, or do you want them in specified committee? Okay? That's the question I asked, all right? That's all I asked, because they will be asked.
But we need to know what committees you want them to go in, Mr. Martin, is all
And
we're
that's the
saying.
reason why I asked, do you want me to relay the questions so that we could put them in order?
Mr.
Look,
Martin, no one in here besides you at this moment is being confrontational. So
bet?
I don't know why you feel like no one wants you to do this. I
Well,
told you I would
apparently
love to
something's
hear
going on.
the questions, and all I'm asking is so that we can place them properly on the agenda.
Did anybody not understand what I just said?
We
Raise your
understand,
hand.
let's put
we
a-
understand what you said, but the process isn't finished. If you made a motion, Byron's got a second, now we need a vote. If we're voting on to,
That should have been done 5 minutes ago.
yes, sir, I agree.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. That's what I'd asked. I'm glad that you understood what I was saying. The topic is the first one. Okay, now this one right here is something that we had talked about. We have a deacon on our board, okay, which is Deacon Willrich right here. And one of the questions is very simple. Why don't Mr. Byron be the official chaplain of the Crowley City Council, since he being the only deacon, which they have on the city council? I don't know if we have any other deacons, okay? Well, you understand what I'm saying? So now we learned we have another deacon. So that answered that question. So, because we have other deacons. So that took care of that, simple and gone. All right, now.
Let me add to that real quick. And again, that's why this stuff needs to go to the committee meetings. But I want to go ahead and allow this to happen, but as professionally as we can. I'll tell you why I call on Alderman Ashby every meeting that he's here. Because 2 years ago, Alderman Ashby approached me and asked me, if you don't mind, I would like to give the invocation at every meeting. No one else approached me and asked me that, so I gave him that opportunity. No one else has come to me personally. Again, everybody has my phone number. It's on Facebook. It's on everywhere. No one has ever said anything to me that they want to have that opportunity sometimes.
Can I have a point of
Everybody
order?
can have that opportunity.
Can I have a point of order?
So I'll just want to give you that explanation as to why he is always asked to do it, because he's the
Okay.
one that asked.
Okay, you just answered a question that was asked.
Yes, sir.
What's the big deal? It's a question. You just said the reasoning for it. I didn't know we had another deacon on the board. So the person that asked me to relate this question, that's their answer.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
all
sir.
it is. It's very simple. Now you want to go down the list?
Yes, please.
You could tell the constituent, though, that asked you the question, I have no problem sharing the responsibility with him. I would love to share it with
There
him.
you go. There you
We're
go.
all praying to the same Jesus.
Okay.
That's why everybody should have a prayer on their heart. Or verse they might help somebody that don't know what they going through that day. And I don't have no problem, like I said, I'm a deacon of the church. If they call me to pray, or you call me to pray, I'm good with it. So, I mean, I don't.
Have you ever asked me for that
No,
opportunity?
I never asked
Okay,
you.
all right.
It's just that
Sure.
We started off with you just calling. Last term, he just called people, and we all had that opportunity.
Sure.
To pray.
But
if you call me, I don't have no problem praying.
sure. And I'm sure no one in here has a problem with praying. The reason I said what I said about Alderman Ashby is because he is the one that asked me 2 years ago, before we even got started in our first meeting, if he would be able to do the invocation. No one else approached me. No one else came to me. You came to me just before the meeting today. Other council members come to me at City Hall. They'll call me. You call me sometimes and talk about these things. Though that line of communication is always open. And if you would have said, hey, sometimes I'd like to lead in the prayer, Mr. Byron, you know that I'd have done that. That's easy. I'd have told Chuck, hey, Mr. Byron asked to pray. Let's let him do it. This is not agenda items, though. This is not something this is not a public hearing. Yes, sir. Please put your microphone on.
Yeah, well, we just found out, but anyway, I'll go ahead and bring it. Why don't we have any black bands, not only in the Rice Festival, but now, I want to get it right, the city council has control over the Mardi Gras, and it was said in one of the meetings when asked who done, I'm just trying to put it at where it's kind of long, who chose the bands, and you blurted out, I did, okay? Well, apparently you forgot there's a different culture in the city of Crowley. Then I get a phone call, all of a sudden, bam, now we got Roy Chip Anthony, everybody. You understand? Black band just suddenly appeared.
Okay, I'm gonna answer your question.
All right, well, hold on. Just let me finish. And the other question was very simple.
No, wait, let's not go to the next question.
Well, no, it's still on this one.
Oh, okay.
It's still in the question form. Okay, how much was budgeted and how much was each band paid? That's the end of that question. Okay, you can elaborate on that.
Okay. The city council is not who chooses the bands for Mardi Gras. The city council does not have to be asked who plays for Mardi Gras. That is up to me and the person who does the community events, okay? Where the budget comes from is within the budget that is approved for September 1. The amount that was paid to the bands this year, and I don't have the number for the recent years, but this year we have $9,200 and something for the 4 bands all day. You brought this concern up last month, and I explained to you that the cost of the black entertainment bands that are asked for, that I know of, are much higher than the 3 bands that were hired, the 4 bands that were hired this year. And so the budget didn't allow for us to get bands for the whole day. What I did, and I wish you would have called throughout the month to try and give me some suggestions on different people or whatever. I definitely need some help when it comes to the black entertainment bands, because I don't know them all as others do. But I did reach out to a friend of mine, and he helped me with this. And so I called Lil Nate, because Lil Nate, J. Paul, those are the Zydeco bands that I've heard that people would want to hear. Yes, sir, you're correct. And so we can't afford those. I don't know who Roy Chip is. I don't know the gentleman. But someone I know knows him, and he reached out to him. Now, this is going to be a track show. This is not a full band, but it's $3,000 for him to come for that hour. We're going to try and stretch it to an hour and a half, okay? So that he's $3,000, another one's $3,000. Another one is, there's 3 of them at 3,000 now. And then there's one for, I think, 1,500 or so, 15 and 18, I don't remember the exact numbers, but, I was able to book Roy Chip, well, I don't remember his last name, Anthony, Roy Chip Anthony, and he is going to be a track show, which is, for those who don't know it, he's going to play the music on a basically like play a CD. It's not a CD, but he's going to play the music and sing to the music. It's going to sound just like the regular song, just like his band would be playing. But yes, I was able to secure him today, actually. I still don't have all the paperwork for it yet, but I was able to secure him today. The Rice Festival part, the city does not have anything to do with the Rice Festival. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Microphone again, please.
When this was done, you used the term to call you. First of all, I didn't even know, Byron, when they dial your phone, it rings? Well, I know mine does.
Mine does too.
Okay, well, why is it that it's always the afterthought? And once again, I say it like it is, because Steph Martin runs from nobody. Steph Martin is known all through the state and all the way to Washington.
Mr. Martin,
DC.
please get to your point.
I'm getting to my point.
I'm not, nobody's concerned about you running from anybody.
The bottom line is that you asked the question why we didn't call.
Yes,
First
give
of all,
me some information.
Chad, you had a club that played this music.
On the radio. I didn't hire any of these people live,
Chad,
Mr. Martin.
Chad,
I
at your
didn't know
club.
these
Wait,
people.
wait, just a minute. Didn't you play R&B at your club?
Yes.
Okay, then, so you're going to tell me.
On the radio. I don't know these people.
I don't care if it came from a spaceship. The fact of the matter is
Okay.
very simple here, okay? If I hadn't got behind you with this band wouldn't have been added on there today. And which I spoke to one person about getting this on the agenda, so I'm pretty sure she passed the word to you, which I'm glad she did. But the fact of the matter is, you're forgetting about Wes Crowley.
I'm not forgetting.
Well,
about
something
anybody,
happened
Mr.
here.
Martin.
When you put this music together, when you had your budget, first thing should have came to your mind is for everybody. The city of Crowley is not defined by country and western. It's not defined by cowboys.
Correct.
It's not defined by rhythm and blues.
Correct.
It's
You get-
defined by the culture.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the next question?
Okay. Well, I'm just saying. All right. Last minute, look, and like the people say, election time can't. Anyway, let's move on with this.
Okay.
What is the progress? Well, I want to make sure. Okay, why is the MLK building in such a disarray? AC is not working. Okay, AC is not working. Can you explain why the AC is not hooked up? I guess heat and cooling.
So yes. So the second half of the air conditioning units, I'm waiting on the AC guy to do it. It's been ordered. He has taken out, so the inside unit at the top, above the stage to each side, the inside unit has to be changed. It's winter time, so I'm guessing he's not in a hurry.
Well.
But the inside unit has to be fixed and lowered, and there's a lot of work to do in there. And then the outside units have to be added. The air conditioners will be in before the summer gets here and before it gets hot in that building. It's ordered. I mean, I'm waiting on the AC guy.
Well, that's first.
I will call him tomorrow
Well, the bottom line is
and see
this.
where he's at on it.
Okay, well, if I contract a job, being in that type business, I'm gonna finish my job. Well, just freezing
Well,
outside
unfortunately,
or
I
whatever.
didn't hire you to do it.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. But if you did, it would have been done by now. Okay, that's without a saying. And I'm glad you didn't hire me too. Okay.
No, I didn't say I was glad I didn't hire you.
Well, but I'm glad you
I said,
did.
unfortunately, I did.
Well, there you go. Because then again, I would have done the work for free. Okay. Now, the demolition of the houses in the city of Crowley. Mr. Stepp made a statement months ago that they have houses all the way back from the time Ms. Proctor and Ms. Pete was on the council, 2014, that still need to be tore down. But yet, nothing's being done. We heard, I'm trying to remember because a lot of it I couldn't write down. I heard that there's some type of court for this, but yet nothing is being done, okay? So what is the progress of the demolition of the already condemned houses in the city of Crowley and the grass cutting?
There is no already condemned houses. The process has to be followed for each house that we move forward with. I don't care what was done last administration, the administration before, or any of those other ones. We have to go through the process because some of these properties were sold at tax sale, so there's new owners. Mr. Martin, I do not make these laws, but unfortunately, I have to follow them. And yes, unfortunately, I have to follow them. So we have to go through these. We have to do the research on these properties again to make sure that it's the same owners, because again, a lot of these properties have been sold at tax sales. Nothing has been done to them, but if there's new owners, those new owners have to be duly notified. The court had its first session with 5 properties last month. Those properties are moving through the process. One of the ladies with the Deltas actually told me she attended that meeting, and she's attending the next one, and she's following along to see how things go. The next meeting is this month. There'll be another 5 properties on it, and going forward, there'll be 5 properties for each. But now understand, that administrative court makes a decision and tells these people, you have, I don't care if he says they got a week or 16 weeks. Once that process, once that timeline is passed, those people have to be notified again that they have not followed the rules or the orders, and so they have to be notified again that we are going to move forward with it. Once that process has passed, then we can get contractors to give us 3 quotes. We need 3 quotes for each property that we're going to tear down. I can't just pick a contractor. We got to get contractor. We got to get 3 quotes. Once we get the 3 quotes, then we can schedule the contractor to go and do it. I promise you, it is a long, drawn-out process, but it is being worked on. Okay. We are moving forward.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, let me tell the truth about it. First of all, when this city, we have judicational powers.
This city has never adjudicated one property.
Can you please let me speak?
I want to tell you, this city has never adjudicated a property, not one. The parish does, but this city has never done it. We are moving forward with that process going forward, but this city has never adjudicated a property.
Are you finished?
Yes, sir.
As I was saying, Jeff, you've been on this council a while? Okay. Brad, those who've been here. First of all, when the city condemns a property, it's condemned. If someone buys the property from a sheriff's sale, they inquires that. That goes with the property. They have to put that the property has been condemned. It doesn't matter. I don't know where you got that from, where we got to go back and, we got a new owner of the property, so guess what? We got to start. No, that's bull crap. There's no such thing as that. Once the city declares the property condemned, it's condemned, okay? So I don't know where you got there talking about starting all over again. That's the reason why nothing is being done, okay? We get the phone calls, okay? Only thing I can say is, well, this is what I was told. These people out here, they know what's going on, okay? The question is there. What's the process? 5 houses a month. How many houses do we have to be condemned? How many?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. So you're doing 5 a month. Come on, man. And then a while back, if I'm not mistaken, we had hired another attorney to handle it. They were being paid. They ain't done a damn thing. Okay? Now, if I'm lying, now's the time to speak.
Yeah.
Like I say, I stand on business.
Who was hired to do that?
To be honest with you, I have no idea. But there was, fellas, ladies, if I'm wrong, y'all tell me. Wasn't there supposed to be a court years ago? I mean, they were supposed to come in and handle everything. The guy stood right before that doggone podium
Yes, sir.
and said that he,
And Mr. Martin, I have explained this on numerous occasions over the past 2 years.
okay.
The court was put on hold by myself. It was never started before I got here. It was put on hold by myself
There you go again.
because I wanted to allow the council and myself to make the decisions in this room. That didn't work. That didn't work. So the court is in session
So
now.
so basically
And it
what you-
just started last month.
Okay, so
We've
what you're saying-
discussed this over and over again, the same topic, and I'm telling you the same story.
it's always the same story.
It is,
So
because
what you
it's the
saying-
truth.
But wait a minute, so what you saying, all of the trials and tribulations that the councils before this, your administration.
I can't
Wait,
do
wait,
anything
just-
about them.
man, can you please let me finish? Please.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Well, if you quit interrupting, it would happen. Basically, what's happening is this. So all the houses that we got all the way from, and I'm gonna say it again, 2014, doesn't matter. The houses that's falling down, God forbid somebody get hurt in those houses, the first thing they're gonna do is sue the city, and when they go to the archives, which is always, whether recorded, audio or video, they're gonna hear, well, this house was condemned by the council 6 years ago. Why wasn't it tore down? Well, here come the new mayor. He decided to throw all that in the trash.
No.
And, well, but there you go again.
So, Mr. Martin, if I can just point out one
Wait,
thing.
before you point out, let me say what I got to say.
Sure.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Bottom line here is very simple. So what you telling me, all the work, Kate, if you got somewhere to
Can you
go
get
by-
to the point, please?
The point is the same. The point been made.
So-
You telling us that all the hearings that we had, sending out our code enforcement whenever he was working.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Condemned houses don't matter. So in other words, that power that I've been stressing
Yes,
for
sir.
years, y'all starting from top down, you should be starting from bottom up.
Mr. Landry is going to explain that to you.
Can I-
Yeah, well, now, I'm listening to you. Explain that to me.
So as far as the past efforts of the council, and frankly, I don't know all that was done or wasn't done with regards to that process, but you mentioned earlier that you can't just undo a condemnation. So it's true that you can't undo a condemnation. However, if the order of condemnation is not filed in the conveyance and mortgage records in the Acadia Parish Courthouse, then anyone that purchases that property after that condemnation does not buy it subject to the condemnation because they were not put on notice by recordation. I don't know if all those prior condemnations were recorded. If they are recorded, okay, then you are correct. If they are recorded, then those properties have been condemned, and that a subsequent sale does not undo that condemnation because they take it subject to the recorded order of condemnation. Now, if that's the case, the process from that point forward would be whatever opportunity that they were given, if any, to rectify the problem, okay? If they were given 30 days or 5 days or 10 days or no days, whatever the case may be. When that time expires, which obviously if they were condemned in 2014, I would imagine that time has expired, what would happen is you have to send them a notice stating that you have not complied with the previous order, okay? That as a result of your failure to comply with the previous order, the city is now going to commence demolition on, and you give them a date. If they don't do anything about it by that date, then you demolish it. Then once it's demolished, you send them another notice, and you tell them that the city demolished it at a cost of X. If you don't pay that cost, then the city will place a lien on the property for that amount of money. So that's the process.
All right. Let me clear this up. Ladies and gentlemen, for y'all that don't know, I wish Tim made it here. Tim, how many cities we build houses in? Just off the top of your head. How many, our company, how many cities that you know of that we build in houses, or that we build houses in? Okay, well, just to give you an idea, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, right there in Rain, the houses over there, that's us. In Church Point, that's us.
Mr. Martin.
What?
We don't.
Let me finish, please.
Sir,
I'm making a point
with all
here.
due respect, it doesn't matter how many houses you built. We're talking about how many houses need to be demolished in the city of Crowley.
That's the point, because what
Okay.
he just said don't make no sense. okay? Anytime you buy a piece of property, you have to disclose
You
anything
are not
that's
an
wrong.
attorney. The attorney,
But
I
I could be
think,
one.
understands the law
I could be
quite
one.
a bit better. What is your next question?
Yeah, okay, well,
So,
this is a
Mr.
good
Martin,
one for you.
just for the
What
record.
is your next question?
What you're referring to, there's something called the public records doctrine.
That's correct.
Okay? And what the public records doctrine states is that people are not bound by things that do not appear in the public record. So if I sell my house to you, okay, and I don't record that sale, you pay me the money, we execute a deed, it doesn't get recorded in the courthouse, okay?
Right.
Then tomorrow, I sell my house to Byron, and Byron takes that deed and he goes and records it in the courthouse. You know who owns my house? Byron. That's the public records doctrine. That's the same principle at play here with these condemnations. If you have an order of condemnation, but you fail to record it in the conveyance records of the courthouse, then anyone who buys it and checks title, they hire an attorney. That attorney goes and checks title. He will not see that it's been condemned. And because he cannot see that it's been condemned, that purchaser is not bound by claims or encumbrances, mortgages, liens, privileges that do not appear of record in the courthouse.
Just for the record, we're not talking about buying no houses. We're talking about tearing down houses.
I'm explaining a concept to you,
I understand
Mr.
your
Martin.
concept.
And
But
your question was about if somebody else bought it at
when are
tax
we gonna get the
sale.
houses torn down? That's the question.
We're working on them, Mr. Martin.
Well,
We are working on them.
Probably
What is
the
your
same-
next question?
Okay, this is a doozy here. This is a doozy. This is a real doozy. Why aren't there any black employees at City Hall? Yeah, I figured you would say.
Good question.
Good, it is.
Good question.
Okay, so do you have anything to say?
Is there, yeah.
Okay, well, say it.
I've
The
hired.
question is,
I've
why
hired,
aren't there any black employees at City Hall?
because none have put their application in for the positions that were open and got hired for that position. All right?
Let's move on, man, because
Yes,
that's nothing
please
but
do.
That's a bald-faced lie, because I send people over there myself. Okay, so let's move on. But anyway, get ready, because every month, Kate, if you got somebody to go, the door's right there, okay? Every month, I'll be bringing in questions, me, myself, and Bob.
You need to bring those questions to the committees.
Well, you know
all
what's
right?
good about
I've
it?
allowed you to do this
Well,
in
I
this
appreciate
council meeting,
All
and
right.
it is not professional, and it is very
It's very-
ugly the way you are presenting these things.
Well, the problem
All
is
of these constituents have the opportunity to come to me, to come to
Well,
any one of these council members,
we got-
and you and Mr. Byron both.
Okay, well,
I
according-
have an open door. As a matter of
Well-
fact, there's times that the ladies in City Hall come and close my door
Well, let me tell you
because
this.
I'm talking to people
Let me tell
in
you
my
this.
office, okay?
and-
So
and-
it literally is an open door.
Well, I don't know about open door, but
So,
I've
any
had
other
some-
questions?
Well, yes, but just the debate on that. I know many people went there and they saw you in the office, but you wouldn't come out. Okay, that's the people telling me. All right,
That's not the truth.
well, I'm only telling what they told me. And so many of them told me the same thing.
Okay,
We
all
got a
right.
few people in here if you want them.
Mr.
to respond
Ashby?
on it.
So I have one question, because you said all of these people are here to get the truth. I just want to know, in y'all's last 4 years, because we're new, how many houses did y'all tear down?
They didn't tell, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
So what I know for a fact is since 2014, which is 11 years, y'all torn down less than 100. But
There you
all of
go.
a sudden, in our 4 years, we can't tear down 500. It's not going to happen.
You need to do
You
more than
can't allow,
5
you
houses
can't
a
allow
month.
things to build up over 20 years and expect it to be completed in 4. The reason they didn't get started a few months ago was because they were trying to get the $1 million grant
Oh.
that would have torn the people's houses down for free. That
Yeah.
was the reason it wasn't
Man,
started.
that grant was applied for by so many cities. It went only for, I think, about 2 weeks.
If
I know
you-
the grant.
But you
Okay.
still have
Well,
to
well,
apply.
All
well,
right,
fine.
that's enough.
Fine.
If you would have listened during those meetings, you would have known that we could not apply for it because we already had
A
two
grant that you
two
still
of
have-
them open.
There you go, still
But
open grants.
we tried to close
Oh, man,
one
come on,
before
come
we could, and we
Yeah,
wasn't
okay,
unsuccessful.
okay, we good.
All right.
So,
Mayor's report, sales tax chart, you all have it, by the way. Approval of minutes, I'm sorry. Approval of minutes from special council meeting held on January 29th, 2025. Offered by Alderman Lachele. Second by Alderman Dore, I'm sorry. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. All right, now, sales tax chart. You have your sales tax chart with you. You have the sewer user fee chart with you. The month of December returns that was collected in January. If you notice on that sales tax chart, it was a collection of $1,115,445. That is the highest month of sales tax collections for sure since 2014. That is special thanks to obviously our local businesses for promoting their products, but also our citizens for shopping here in Crowley and doing their part in building the economy here. Status report of audit findings is also in your packet as required. And the budget actual comparison as of January 25 is not in your packets. We are still struggling with the new software. I'm happy to report that we did have a really good meeting today with the actual software people and not the third-party company that we originally started with. And so we are confident, hopeful that moving forward we'll have some good progress with that. All right, standing committee reports. Public Works Committee, Alderman Doré, please.
Thank you, Mayor. This seems working? Yeah. All right. Public Works Committee convened Tuesday, February 11th, 2025, 5 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Under action items, there were none. Non-action items, Public Works Director Albert John presented his monthly...
Mr. Martin. Go ahead, Mr. Doré.
Okay. Under non-action items,
Mr. Doré, go ahead.
okay, under non-action items, Public Works Director Albert John presented his monthly report. Street Commissioner Wesley Jacobs presented his monthly report. And the city engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly report, the engineer's report, which had no action items for the council to consider. No further business to come before Public Works. The committee recess.
Thank you, sir. Utility, Alderman Martin, please.
And just for the record, Chief, oh yeah, you're damn right.
Mr. Martin,
Chief, I'm with,
Mr.
presenting
Martin,
you with a,
please read your
special
committee
records,
report.
report. I want to know who just called that. If I got to get my attorney here, we're going to find out who called
Mr.
it.
Martin,
I heard you, damn it. I heard you.
please read your report. Thank you.
Better yet, I yield to the Vice Chair.
He's flying high as a kite.
Mr. Martin.
I just said I yield to the Vice Chair. Oh, I don't have the report. Well, okay then.
You have the report.
All right. Utility Committee convened Tuesday, February 11th, council chambers. We had a quorum. Under action items, there was no action items to present. Under non-action items, wastewater superintendent Tim Crater presented his monthly report. City engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report, which had no action items for council to consider. Alderwoman Katie Chasson discussed tree trimming that is being done by CLECO. Okay. She said that during the snowstorm, we may have had power outages if not for the trees being cut. Mayor also commend that he does not have the authority to stop CLECO from cutting trees. CLECO must follow state regulations. Myself stated that the district here has a lot of trees. a lot of trees, I'm sorry, a lot of street lights out. Okay? Alderman Dore advised him to make a list of the location of the lights and call Clico to get it changed. Ma'am also told me that to make a list of lights and he would contact Clico for him, which I know everybody at Clico, I can do that myself. Guest speaker Michael Nichols spoke to the council about the proposed CO2 hazardous disposal sites in Louisiana and how they will affect the Chico aquifer. There being nothing further to come before this committee, we recess.
Thank you, sir. Recreation Committee, Alderman Ashby, please.
Recreation Committee convened Tuesday, February 11th, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers and a quorum was present. There were no action items, and under non-action items, Recreation Director Zach Duyon presented the monthly Recreation Department report. I will give you an update. His report stated that at the time, they had over 340 kids signed up for baseball, and he said they signed up a lot at the last week. Well, they're up to 619 now. So they doubled since then. City Engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly report, engineer's report, which had no action items for the council to consider. The Crowley Support for the Handicap Board presented the council the plans they have to construct a playground for the handicap at Levy Park. Speakers of the group were Rich Hughes, Leah Huffpower, Gio Habits, and Zach Duyon. Mr. Hughes told the council that they had already completed 2 projects. A ramp and a sidewalk had been built at Levy Park leading up to the Veterans Memorial, and a ramp had also been built at the Martin Luther King Park. There were no further business to come before the Recreation Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Zoning Annexation, Alderman Reggie, please.
Thank you. Zoning and Annexation Committee convened Tuesday, February 11th, 2025, 5 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Go to the other one. Okay, so number 1, to consider the approval of preliminary and final plat showing subdivision of property for RAS Leasing LLC being tracts B-1 and B-2 and property to be acquired by Crowley Eastern Avenue DG Incorporated, tract B-1 located in section 3 T10S or 1E Southwestern Land District.
Good luck.
City of Crowley, Acadia Parish, Louisiana. Date of plat, January 13th, 2025 by CNR Land Surveying LLC. All contingent upon review and approval of the design review agent, city engineer Charles T. Mader, and I so move.
Second.
Offered by Alderman Reggie, second by Alderwoman Chasson. Discussion. Marks, I'm sorry. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, number 2. To consider the approval and preliminary and final plat showing an assembly of property and the creation of a new lot being tract A1 for Crowley Eastern Avenue, DG LLC tract A and RAS Leasing LLC tract B-1, and property to be acquired by Crowley Eastern Avenue, DG LLC tract A1 located in section 3 T10S- or 1E Southwestern Land District, Crowley, City of Crowley, Acadia Parish, Louisiana. Date of plot, January 14th, 2025 by CNR Land Surveying LLC, and contingent upon review and approval of the designated review agent, city engineer Charles T. Mader, and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Reggie, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to thank our city engineer for providing us with the additional information before today's meeting. That really clarified a lot since our committee meeting.
Yes.
Thank you, Tim.
I agree. It's still a little confusing, but it's and basically, each one of these is really doing the same thing. It's just the way that the purchaser wanted it done. So Mr. Mader explained that it's odd, but it's the same same, it's all good, so. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, that was action items. Under non-action items, City Engineer Tim Mater presented the monthly engineer's report, which had no action for the council to consider. He advised the council to read page 18 of the monthly engineer's report pertaining to VFW Drive, and there was no further business to come before Zoning and Annexation Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety, Alderman Corr, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The Public Safety Committee convened Tuesday, February 11th, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers, and a quorum was present. We had no action items. Under non-action items, Chief of Police Troy Hebert presented his monthly report. Fire Chief Louis Romero presented his monthly report, which included a summary of calls for service and response times. City Inspector Tony Duhon was not present. We do have one other item on the agenda for discussion regarding trash company not picking up at all addresses. And I don't know if anybody put that on.
Discussion on the trash company. Mr. Martin?
Okay.
Let me say this. I don't know, I brought this up years ago, dealing with police jury and their different businesses that picks up the trash. I don't know what goes on in your district, but our district is a shame. They leave the damn trash can when they do pick it up in the middle of the road. People have to stop blowing at me, man, come get your damn trash out the middle of the road. Well, they know I'm living there, so they knocking on the door. Instead of them moving the trash, it's public safety has it. Today, I had to talk with the lady. Apparently, I had filed a complaint with them a while back. So guess what happened Friday? They didn't even pick up my trash. Got trash on both sides of me. So I called up. I didn't tell her who I was. You should have heard her running her damn mouth. But soon as, excuse me, let me introduce myself. When I told her who I was, all of a sudden it's Mr. Martin. So I can imagine how they talk to regular folk, which I'm not special, but I'm chosen by the people to represent the people. And they still haven't picked up the trash. What I propose here, and hope that this city, this council would look into it, it's time for us to do like we did years ago, pick up our own trash, okay? We pay taxes for this, and they're not doing their job. I don't know how it is in your district, but I mean, it's atrocious. I mean, they leave trash all on side the road, and God forbid, coming down, if something fly out, they're not getting out for whatever. So that's where we at, and I told the lady that I would bring this up at this council meeting. It's time to do something. I mean, they get paid to pick up trash. We shouldn't be out there picking up trash after them. Now, I can understand if your trash can overloaded, well, that's on you. But come on, man. I mean, if they had to use the boom to pick it up, at least they can do is take the boom and put it right back in the same place. And that's where I'm at with that. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Just a FYI for the people, if they have any troubles with the trash pickup, it is suggested that you contact the landfill and not the trash company, because the landfill takes the complaints and logs them, and there's a process that they go through within the contract, so many complaints, so many things. These trash trucks are equipped with cameras, front, back, sides. It shows everything. Them driving down the road, it's all recorded. And so if you report the problem, either a missed pickup, maybe I've heard some people say that they put the whole trash can in the truck and drove off with the trash can, and so. There's GPSs and all also, so they'll be able to, but I suggest to call the landfill and not the trash truck company. It's kind of like you need to tell the teacher and not the student that they're doing wrong. So the number on the side of the trash can, unless they actually put the trash can in the truck with them, but that's the number we need to call to report those. Mr. Martin, I'll be happy to meet with Mr. Walter and see if he can get it on the police jury agenda, or if you want to meet with him, You might even want to get on the police jury agenda and express the concerns. The parish collects the tax that we pay for trash pickup. That goes directly to the parish, and so the parish has control over the trash pickup.
Appreciate that, but my father taught me one thing. I skip the altar bars, I go to the Pope. I told her they'll be seeing me. Who knows, he might have the sheriff over there too. I don't know. But
Okay.
you can bet Steph Martin don't take no bull crap from nobody. And the way that woman spoke to me, now I see why when people tell me they call up there and they just get dismissed.
Right.
Okay? I asked her for a name. I don't have to give you my name. Well, you about to give me a part of your ass. Well, excuse me.
All right. Any other discussion?
Well, no, there was no further business come before the committee, and the committee closed.
Thank you, sir. Public Buildings, Alderman Wilridge.
Public Buildings Committee convened Tuesday, February 11th at 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council's chambers. We had a quorum. On the action items, myself made a motion and was seconded by Alderman Joe Dory to approve application for payment number 3 to Prestigious Construction Group LLC for Parks and Pavilion Project Crowley in the estimated amount of $44,650. Motion carried.
You want to make that motion? You're making that motion also?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Offered by Alderman Wilridge, second by Alderman Dorey. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Under action items, there was none, so public buildings recess, sir.
Thank you, sir. Let's see, Insurance and Personnel, Alderwoman Marks, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The Insurance and Personnel Committee met, wait, hang on. There it is, sorry. The Insurance and Personnel Committee convened Tuesday, February the 11th, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Under action items, there were no action items, and there was no discussion, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, ma'am. Community and Economic Development, Alderwoman Chasson, please.
Sure, thank you, Mayor. The Community and Economic Development Committee convened Tuesday, February 11th, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. There were no action items. Under non-action items, Alderwoman Katie Chasson informed the council of events happening in our community. Dr. Izora Proctor spoke about the upcoming Crowley Unity and History program to be held at the Crowley Rice Theater on February 24th, 2025. There was no further action to come before the Community and Economic Development Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Can you please announce the different organizations that report to you?
I don't have that in my minutes, Step.
You got a sheet in front of you, right?
No, I'll have the minutes
It's
from
not in the
meeting.
minutes. It doesn't break down each committee in
I
the minutes.
reported on it at the committee meeting, but it was not
That's
included
not
in
what
the
I'm
minutes.
asking. I just asked you the different organizations, whether it's the Garden Club or whatever.
And she doesn't have that on her to remember. It's Main
The question
Street.
I have, was Delta Sigma Theta put on your roll?
Yes, sir. That
that's
was
all I need.
discussed
Yes,
last
they were
week. You
discussed
asked
last
that
week.
question last week,
Well, we
and
done
that
it
was
at the last
discussed.
meeting. It was supposed to have been done, it wasn't.
No,
It
sir.
was, it was done.
No,
It
sir.
was-
You asked for it last month,
Ma'am, we finished
and it
that.
was on the committee meetings
you.
this month.
Thank you.
Ma'am,
They were you not?
we have a Delta
Yeah.
Sigma Theta lady in here. I hate to call you up, but I'm gonna have
Miss
to call
Vicky.
you up
Yeah.
because
That's
Mr. Martin is
I just asked one
adamant that we did not do what he asked us to
I
do.
just asked the question, was it put? Why do you take things and
You
try and
was
run from
here
it?
last
You need
week,
to
Mr.
shut
Martin.
your damn mouth sometime, man.
We was
Because what
here-
you're doing, you're putting yourself into a position. Don't get me mad because
Mr.
you ain't
Martin,
gonna like me when I'm mad.
Mr.
Tony.
Martin.
Now cut it out. I just asked you
Order,
one question.
Mr. Martin.
Whether you ought or not.
I'm gonna ask you
Enough
to
of this
leave.
shit, man. Every damn
Order.
Why is it every time I ask a question?
Mr.
you-
Martin.
Oh, man, this, man, you know what? Man, it was just one question asked. Where they put? He come up with this bull crap.
All right. Are you finished, Ms. Chasson?
Okay, I am, we're done.
Just one
Thank you.
question. boy. One
Revenue and Finance, Alderman Lachele.
Thank you, Mayor. The Revenue and Finance Committee convened Tuesday, February the 11th, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Under action items, there were none. Under non-action items, there were none. There was no other discussion to come. With no other business to come before the committee convened.
Thank you, sir. Ordinances.
We had the public hearing. We just need to have we need to introduce them or adopt them.
Yes. Okay, to consider ordinance number 1547, to amend and reenact provisions of Chapter 1, Section 1, applicable fines and penalties for violations, and to make other amendments in keeping with current state law, to repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances contrary thereto or in conflict therewith, to provide for the provisions hereof to be severable, and to provide for all matters relative thereto. We need a motion offered by Alderman Corr, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Chuck Ashby? Yes. Katie Shasso? Yes. Brad Corr?
Yes.
Jeff Dorey? Yes. Dickie Lodgley? Yes. Vernon Martin? Yes. Sandra Marks?
Yes.
Samuel Reggie? Yes. Byron Woolridge? All in favor?
Thank you, ma'am. To consider ordinance number 1548, an ordinance to amend and reenact provisions of Chapter 7, Criminal Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Crowley, to update applicable fines and penalties for violations and to make other amendments in keeping with current state law, to repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances contrary thereto or in conflict therewith, to provide for the provisions hereof to be severable, and to provide for all matters relative thereto.
So move.
Offered by Alderwoman Marks, second by Alderman Corr. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Chuck Ashby? Yes. Katie Shasso? Yes. Brad Corr?
Yes.
Jeff Dorey? Yes. Dickie Lodgley? Yes. Vernon Martin? Yes. Sandra Marks?
Yes.
Samuel Reggie? Yes. Byron Woolridge? Yes. All in favor?
Thank you, ma'am. Resolutions, engineers report. None. Motion to adjourn. Offered by Alderman Corr, second by Alderwoman Marks. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all.
And just for the record, whoever called the police, I'm gonna find out who you are, and I will be suing your ass for defamation. Just make sure that whoever it is, matter of fact, I'm gonna have my attorney call the chief tomorrow, and I will be suing your ass for defamation. Because nothing was warranted for anybody. As a legislative body, I have a right to say what I had to say. So you can hide now, but you